Good morning and welcome to Science Thursday. My name is Miss Rachel, and this morning I'd like to introduce you to one of my favorite books in the whole library. It's called The Mushroom Fan Club, and it's written and illustrated by Elise Gravel. Late summer is a really good time to go out in the woods looking for mushrooms. This book was inspired by the author's adventures looking for mushrooms with her own children. The illustrations in this book are absolutely gorgeous. At the beginning of the book, there's a special kind of illustration called a diagram that shows us all of the different parts of a mushroom. Did you know that mushrooms use spores to reproduce? The author describes spores as being a bit like seeds. And at the very end of the book, she shows us how we can make spore prints. Spore prints are very pretty, and the color of the spores can even help you identify the mushrooms. This looks like a really simple activity. I haven't had time to do it yet, but I think after I go out for my walk in the woods this week, I will find a mushroom and give this a try. It looks like the results are really fun. And you can even decorate the spore prints too, like the author did. There are millions of different kinds of mushrooms out in the world. And here are just a few of the mushrooms that you'll meet in this book. You'll meet boletes. This is a very common family of mushrooms, and I usually see one or two different kinds of boletes when I'm out walking in the woods. You'll also meet polypores. These mushrooms grow on tree trunks and tree roots. One time when I was out for a walk in the woods, I found a polypore that looks a lot like the one in this picture here, and I learned later that it's called a turkey tail, which I think is a great name for it. Another kind of mushroom that you'll find out in the woods, or maybe even in your own backyard, is the puffball. These mushrooms release their spores when people or animals step on them. The author of the book, Elise Gravel, tells us that these mushrooms like it when you step on them. It makes their spores go everywhere, which helps them reproduce. Another mushroom that you might meet in the woods is the fly agaric. This is a beautiful mushroom. Illustrators and artists love to draw them. But you want to be very careful because while these mushrooms are very pretty, don't eat them. They're toxic. That brings me to the two rules that the author gives us for joining her mushroom fan club. And I just want to find them here. They're close to the beginning of the book. Here we go. The first rule that we want to follow is to make sure we protect the mushroom's environment. We need to be gentle when we're in the woods and never litter. We also want to try not to pick too many mushrooms. We want to leave some for the slugs and the squirrels who eat them. Instead of picking mushrooms, Elise Gravel recommends drawing a picture of the mushrooms you find or even taking a photo. I absolutely love going out into the woods and taking pictures of mushrooms. I have some really beautiful photos in my collection of mushrooms that I found out on my walks. The second rule is, I think, the most important. Don't eat them. Some mushrooms are okay to eat, but many mushrooms are poisonous. And only a grown-up mycologist, a mushroom expert, know for certain which ones are safe to eat. Another good rule to follow when you're out in the woods looking for mushrooms or just taking a walk is to watch out for poison ivy. At the end of the book, the author gives us a list of interesting things that happened to her while hunting mushrooms. She found a moose skull, scared a snake. I've done that. It scared me too. She came face to face with a porcupine, found a giant bear poop, met a baby deer, walked on a wasp's nest, walked into poison ivy. I've done that. Met nice people and made new friends. Mushroom hunting is a big adventure. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's Science Thursday post. And if you decide that you would like to go mushroom hunting, you can check out the Mushroom Fan Club from the library, or reserve it for curbside pickup today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see all of you again next week.